VA hiring process that changed everything. So I'm going to share my hiring process. Soak it in. Think about what this looks like, what you can see. First, step one. Am I yelling at you guys? Should I lower my voice? I'm so sorry. Honestly, I get so excited about this because it really is like, it's like, aha, it's like I'm stuck here and I get to go here and it's one little thing I need to do. So I really hope that somebody here today is like, this is it. All right, writing the right job description. You need to write the right job posting. You have to filter them out before they apply. So you need to write this job description that filters those people out. My last EA hire, I had 125 applicants. I think 15 passed. Like, that's a big difference from reviewing 120 whatever resumes to 15 resumes. So most jobs attract the wrong people. What do we do when we have a job role? Most likely, if you're like me, lazy, we go online, we research other companies, we find their EA job description. No, is it just me? We copy what they say. You guys are lacking it. It's just me, huh? We go to ChatGPT. We go, write me a job description for an EA, right? Wrong. That is how you get all the crappy people that you're like, my guy's not performing. Yeah, no crap. You literally put yourself out there to get the guy that's not performing. Most jobs attract the wrong people. So key elements in this job post. I will give you the job post. It's pretty good, but we've changed it up a little bit. Key elements, very top. You put it at the very top. When you apply, send me an email that says I actually read these instructions. What does that do? Someone guess. What does that do out of the gate? Yeah, 80% gone. Can they send an email? Are they who wants an EA that it cannot be detail oriented? Yeah, I don't. That would drive me. Side note, I did hire a new EA and I fired her within 2 weeks because of that. And she really did. She interviewed well. You're not going to win all of them. And we'll talk about this after. You got to shoot for the stars. You got to shoot. You're not going to. I had 2 or 3 EAs before I found this guy. So don't make it, just because I'm in no shoes standing up here doesn't mean I did this once and I knocked it out of the park. Like, I did not knock it out of the park. This takes time. Okay. So I actually read these instructions. It filters out 80% of them. Number 2, EA as a business operator, not just an admin. Your job description, if you go to ChatGPT, will make it an admin job. Who are the people that will apply for admin jobs? Admins, VAs, people that want to check boxes. No, you need an operator. You need a business operator that's kind of disguised as an EA because they're not a COO. They're not a head of operations. They're a highly skilled EA, and that's exactly what they should be. And so you need that. Submission instructions to test organization. So when I have them apply, I have them send me an email with their resume in PDF format that says first name, last name, ... EA ... application. Do you know how many people send me a resume that is not organized how I asked? A lot of them. Guess what they do? Archive, trash. I don't even look at them. You literally couldn't follow the basic instructions. I'm going to trust you with my business. So we start filtering these out. I ask a KPI question on there, which forces them to think strategically. I say, if you are in this position, what is one KPI that you're going to track that is going to make you understand or make me understand the value you're bringing to this business? And I let them submit that. And some people, they don't even know what a KPI is. Filter them right out. Okay? So now this is the thing that I have fallen in love with. As an applicant, I think it would probably suck, but I fall in love with, and it's the application process. We have a hiring project that we make everybody do in our company. Account managers, finance people. We had 230 people apply for our finance role position. Two got the project right. 2 got the project right, like that. So when we hire Josephat, or whatever his name is, dude, he is a rock star, because 2 got it. This is where 95% of the candidates fail. Now, remember, you've taken 120 candidates. Are you guys tracking me so far? If I'm being confusing, tell me now. Okay, we're with me, nodding yes, no. 120 candidates. Because of my description, the way I did the job posting, it ended up getting down to like 10 to 15. Then the 10 to 15, we give them real world projects to take home. Here's one. Solve the CRM duplicate contact issue. I use HubSpot. We are having these duplicates. So like one contact would come in as Travis Weathers with a 480-577 number. The other contact would be Travis Weathers with a different phone number, because I did a Facebook ad over here and I put one phone number and I filled out a lead gen over here with a different phone number. I had these duplicates everywhere. How would you solve that? Well, I want to know how they would solve it. It's a problem I needed to solve. Well, it probably wasn't that big of a deal, but it was a problem I needed to solve. I asked them how to manage personal and business communication overload. I asked them to organize chaotic transactions. I said, we have 15 SEO specialists or whatever we had. And I said, how do we track and figure out how to manage finances? That whole pay with extend thing that I shared with you guys last time at the mastermind, that was a revision of what the EA helped me solve. Like, that's really nice that this EA did that. Another one I have in there, and I'll go through the details of this later on, but like each project has a reason. One project, almost unsolvable. As I said, hey, I have a personal phone with an iPhone. How are you going to, how can you help me with my messages? What I was looking for, it's not solvable unless you know how to solve it. It's like, iPhone is like such a good product, way better than Android, but you can't attach it to Zapier. You can't do any of this stuff. And so the EAs that are just blindly, they'll just go and they'll just pick the first thing they see on Google and that's their thing. The right person will be like, that's going to be hard. Here's how to solve it. It's an unsolvable problem. So I gave it to him. One of the other ones is I get calendar notifications. You ever get those calendar notifications? It's like, John, Patrick accepted your invite to hang out on Zoom. And you get those emails. I knew how to solve this, right? You go to Google Calendar, click settings and say, don't send me those notification emails. Simple project to solve, yes or no? Yes, simple project to solve. I wanted to put that on an interview question. Why? Because I don't want them to make it complicated. I had multiple EAs give me a page on how to solve that. Some of them are wrong, and some of them were the same thing with a page. I don't need a page, just solve the problem. This EA, it was like 5 sentences. It was like, you go here, uncheck that box. Perfect. That's all I'm looking for. So each interview project had its own reason to be there. Biggest red flag I find in hiring EAs, this kind of operational extension EA, is they miss these details. How many of you guys have in your brain explained away why they might have missed it? Be like, they're probably pretty good. I'm sure they kind of messed this up. Has anybody done that? Or is it just me? Yeah, you explain away their problems, explain away that they don't have the thing organized, right? You don't do that in this process. They don't do it right. They don't do it right. This is going to be the best of them. Then the interview. You want to interview basically validating that the project was right. So now you've got the project submission. Oh, fun fact. We pay everybody for this project. And I'm going to let you listen to what my EA said about this, but you pay them for their time. They value that. They respect that, because think about all the digital agency owners that look at these overseas EAs and they just go, cheap labor. That's all you are, cheap labor. And you're like, hey, I'll pay for your time. Here's a project. The other fun fact that you do is you send them the money in advance through PayPal or whatever, and you send them the money in advance. Guess what that does? I had 3 people get my money and not respond. Do you think we want to trust them with our business? No. Happy to throw $25 at you and you not to respond. You will not be moving forward. So now you've taken these 15 applicants, you've given them projects, and now you've narrowed it down based on the submission of the project to like 2, maybe 3, maybe. Never really had more than 3. Then you get on the interview. Most of us, again, I'm not saying you guys, I do this every day. You kind of like the vibe. You're like, I think this guy, girl, I think it's worth it. I mean, I have a good conversation with them. Anybody done that on an interview process? You interview by vibe? Yeah, I do it all the time because it's fun. I want to talk to them. Some of my best people, I'm like, this could be rough if we have to spend a couple hours together hanging out because it's not fun. But dude, they are good at what they do. So we hire on vibe. So we have to get through that. Well, guess what? What this does is it creates a hedge of protection for you, because when you do this interview project, you basically get away from the vibe because they're already this far in process. They are already pretty freaking good at what they do. And so you get to kind of enjoy the vibe hiring process without being like, am I missing something? Because they've already done all this other stuff. Key questions. Tell me about you. I do want to make sure that they can communicate well, especially if they're going to be sending emails to my team members, to other people. What's the process or problem that you're trying to solve? The interview projects, it's like, hey, here's a problem. How would you solve that? I want to make sure that it wasn't just them ChatGPT and that's the only way they can solve it. It's like they know how to critically think. We talk about what KPI would measure success. We have a good conversation about that. I challenge them. We go over their project and go over how they did the project, why they did what they did, and go, why did you do this? Like, I may disagree with some of the stuff, but why? Why did you do it? The best EAs that applied, and the best EA, in my opinion, this Nicola guy, addressed every job post bullet point by bullet point. So I said, here are the 7 things I'm looking for in an EA. He was the only one that took bullet point by bullet point on the application and explain why he matches each one. Everyone, one by one. That's pretty good. He might have had a little benefit. He was an air traffic control assistant in Serbia. So, we did have a little bit of a vibe going on because of the pilot stuff, but that's okay. Interview. The interview process, who can actually execute. You want to set up trust without setting yourself up to risk. There's a big difference between giving them trust. I tell my people when I hire them, I'm giving you trust. Like out of the gate, I hired you because I'm giving you trust. You don't need to earn it. You've already earned it. Here's the trust. I could pull back my trust because of what you do, but you've started out with this trust. But I'm not going to be cuckoo and give you full access to my bank account. So we have to be wise. So like, you want to give them your bank account access because when they go in and they go, I need to know what this spend was, they need to find that out. But they're read-only access. They cannot transfer money. They cannot spend money. They can't do anything. They can deposit money if they want, but they're not going to do that. So we give them read-only. So you get it's like, here's the bank account. That's trust. But I'm going to be wise. I'm not going to give you full access to be able to transfer money back and forth. Setting clear expectations. High trust means high accountability. From experience, some of you guys, and you guys, probably the other people that I talk to, not you guys, the other masterminds I go to, some of us want a really thriving agency, but we don't keep accountability that matches that, if that makes sense. You want the kick-ass people, but you don't hold them accountable. You don't set that level of expectation high enough, and so you get lower level people. And so I want you to really sit and think about this. High trust, high level, kick-ass EAs will have high trust, high responsibility, but it is your job to keep them accountable. You must keep that bar high. Over the last year and a half, we've gotten rid of a lot of people on our staff because we've always said the bar's high. We're amazing, but then we set the bar high and we held people to that. And it's been a massive difference in our agency experiencing what happens when we hold people accountable. So don't forget that if you're sitting here, hold people accountable. When we have meetings, we write down the action items. I follow up on those action items. And then when they don't get them done, we have a really serious conversation. And then if they keep doing that, it's like, hey, this is unacceptable. And it starts having that. And some people can't keep up. They can't get there. And then you have to let them go. And that sucks. But one of the easiest ways you can do it is when they say they're going to do something, write that down. You can send it to yourself, or you can right after type a quick email. Hey, I wanted to follow up on these 3 action items we talked about 3 days ago, and send that for like 4 days from now to that person. It's a really easy way to do that. In our meetings, we have action items. We put a due date. We require everything to have a due date and an assigned person. And yes, not everything gets done perfectly. I get it. I'm not asking for perfection, and I'm not asking for our team to get everything done all the time, but I'm asking them to keep up at that level. Nicola has done all day. Like, he starts at 12 p.m. his time and ends at like 10 p.m. his time. There's days he starts at 8 a.m. and doesn't end until midnight because he's got stuff that needs to get done. I'm not asking for that every day, but those are the types of people I want on my team. Make sense? Even just following up, like, we experience this, keeping that person accountable. Like, we have to almost like, I don't want to call it micromanaging, but it's a little bit of just call what you want. It's just accountability. Let's move on. I'm here to answer those. Unexpected benefits, man, you could probably believe you get your time back, your sanity back. I say always. You're no longer always micromanaging and always putting out fires and always chasing tasks. You are an owner of an agency. There's no thing as no more fires. But you're not doing everything. You're not now spending 4 hours looking at all of your clients and the type of communication happening because you go, hey, I need you to go look at these 30 clients in the communication and kind of understand, like, are we doing a good job communicating, or are we missing emails and dropping the ball? That EA it might take you 4 hours. It'll take them 12 hours. It might take them 3 hours. Who knows? It doesn't matter. You got to tell them the task, tell them the outcome of the task. Here's what I expect. You have to get clear. You get much better when you have an EA on getting clear. Here's what I expect. Here's the outcome. Here's the definition of done. But then guess what? You don't do it. You got to go on to the next thing. And then in 2 days, you have a meeting reviewing that, which is great. You focus on growth and high value work. Whatever that high value work is, you get to focus more on that and less on the project management. We talked about that. It's like you've got so many things. It's like, what the leverage is in your business. You just need some time to get there. And you can't, a lot of you guys, sorry, not a lot of you guys, a lot of you guys that I talk to, you're at this critical point where you need 5 people. Does anyone agree? I could take 5 more people. You need 5 people, but you don't have the ability to profitably do that. I say that because you probably do it. You just would make no profit. Then what's the point of this whole stress? So what do? This is that person that can spend 5 hours in this role, 10 hours in this role, 20 hours in this role, and help you get to that next step. So you have a little bit more profit. So you can then hire your first account manager or whatever it is. Great EAs listen and they solve problems. I have made excuses. Again, I feel like I'm just telling you all the things I'm doing wrong here, but like I have made excuses so many times for people's problems of not being able to do it. It's like, wow, it is tough, and you're overseas. Like overseas people aren't smart and able to think and solve problems. Like you make excuses, don't make excuses. Good EAs, they solve this problem. They give you answers and they make it happen. Here's my example. Oh my God, can you imagine building an onboarding? I know you love building onboarding, offboarding. I would die. I want to cry. It was all in my head. And so when I would onboard somebody, it was all in my head. Even today when I onboard an EA, it's all in my head and it's horrible. Well, what does this EA do? Within like 2 months, he was doing all the onboarding and all the offboarding and built the SOPs. Was it perfect the first time? No. Did I have 1,000 voice memos telling him what I need him to do? Yes. But he built it and it's done. I have not onboarded or offboarded somebody in like 2.5 years, and I have never built that playbook. It's only been voice memos to my EA. That's phenomenal if you're somebody that does not want to build an SOP like me. And they help you scale beyond $100,000 and beyond. The good EAs, they'll help you be that operational extension of your hand. And then the sad part is they step away from you as an EA and they step into the business and they run the business. And this person, he's doing HR, finance. I don't know anything he can't do. Like I could give him any project in this and he understands how this business operates, which is phenomenal.